Hello Taurus, how are you? Welcome to your November 7th, 2017 reading. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, well, we've got a couple popping out, the Hanged Man and the Six of Wands. Well, I'm loving the Six of Wands to begin with. Let me just make sure. Okay, so Six of Wands is a card of victory and good things. It's a card of expansion and celebration, and not necessarily celebration, you know, in terms of going to parties or festivities, but rather people celebrating you, people celebrating your success, being in your corner, having your back. And doesn't mean everybody is, okay, but a lot of times it's an integral moment in someone's life when they hit a Six of Wands. It means that they either need to make a decision or they have recently made a decision and they have the support and backing of friends and family around them. Now, Hanged Man can signify a couple of different things. So let me just kind of run through the gamut here. Hanged Man can signify, especially in a love relationship, that it's really time to let something go and that something is maybe past due or overdue, right? Especially if it's an unrequited love, okay? Or a love that has been painful and required hardship. Another meaning could also be feeling as though you're in a suspended state and feeling as though things are not moving. Sometimes this card comes out when it's time for people to just take a breath and take a beat, rather. Allow things to unfold organically, because I think sometimes when the Hanged Man comes out, it's like, well, we don't quite have all the information and we're just kind of needing to just sit tight until that information comes so we can make decisions accordingly. But again, don't forget that no matter if you feel like you're at a standstill or if you feel like you are hitting a brick wall of some kind, that no matter what you choose, you will have the support and love of those around you. Another meaning of this, okay, there's so many meanings to all the cards, but I feel like it's going to be different for each of you, so just bear with me. Because of its Neptunian reference and it being associated with the sign of Pisces, there is this essence of dissolved boundaries, okay, and even dissolution of self, where you may be trying to either redefine yourself or trying to find yourself. And boundaries, in terms of boundaries, you know, you could be dealing with someone that kind of has a little bit of power over you. And when I don't know why I'm kind of losing my train of thought. This is kind of a very Neptunian thing that's happening to me right now. Just like, oh, la-di-da, kind of going on. It kind of can signify, I wouldn't say a lack of strength, but just a lack of surety, I suppose. And being overwilling to cater to other people, to put other people's needs in front of your own. So I don't know what you guys are dealing with. There's a essence of confusion coming my way right now. So I think some of you are feeling quite confused about a situation. Now we've got King of Swords. So what? A situation with a King of Swords? Maybe. King of Swords can be a rough energy. It can be very sharp. It can feel very cruel at times. You know, the good things about King of Swords is they're very dutiful. Normally, right? And when they've made up their mind that they're going to be in a situation or be in an obligation, they're usually in it to win it, and they're there from beginning to end. But the more immature King of Swords can really lend itself to coolness or aloofness. They do tend to take more than they give. They can be a little bit on the narcissistic side as well. So some of you may be dealing with an immature King of Swords, and others of you, I'm not sure. But King of Swords is kind of like the sign of Aquarius, okay? Or it represents the sign of Aquarius, but it could be any air sign or anyone with air-like tendencies. You know, someone that like opposite of a Taurus, right? Where Taurus is a feminine polarity, we have the masculine polarity here. Someone that tends to think more about their feelings and their emotions, or prefers to talk about things rather than to actually feel them. High-mindedness, intellectual type of person, or at least likes to think they're intellectual if they aren't actually. They do tend to be a little on the creative side, the unpredictable side. You know, kings in this particular deck, they are on chariots. Okay, this is the prince of the chariot of the wind. And you think of the wind and you think of the chariot, you think of someone who's just constantly going, one adventure to the next. And it's difficult for a Taurus who is very grounded and very stable to kind of keep up with an energy like that, and can be very frustrating. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune. Look, you have these beautiful major arcana coming out, Hanged Man and the Wheel of Fortune. All right. Wheel of Fortune is associated with expansion. It's associated with, it is, you know, indicative of the sun moving through the zodiac and having faith that energy will shift and things will change. People might not change, but times will change. The way you feel about someone, the way you feel about a situation will shift and change. And if you're totally hung up on someone or totally hung up on something, that type of connection might fade over time, allowing for growth in other areas. Now, these are both Jupiterian energies. And with Neptune here, you have this very expansive, almost magical, dreamlike kind of energy around you right now. And anything's possible with this combination of cards. Anything's possible, and everyone's kind of got your back. I don't know if this person has your back or not. This might be kind of the person that you're like having some issues with or having to deal with right now. But, and then we have the Princess of Pentacles, like the Page of Pentacles, right? This is a card of honesty, a card of reflection as well. It's a card that represents communication, but normally not deep communication. And that is one thing that a King of Swords is not really the best at, right? Deep communication. Someone that is really wanting to talk about the future, to talk about the emotions, to talk about or to rehash something from the past in order to make something right. You know, that's totally not their vibe. So this is a card of just kind of like quick little messages, whether it's via texting or Facebook messages or even face-to-face with actual voice. It can also be an offering of some kind. Now, I don't know if this particular person is going to be bringing you an offer or if something entirely new is coming your way. For some of you, it really, really could be something new with that combination of the Wheel of Fortune there. Whether it is someone new or whether this is rather just communication between you and this person. So if it is communication between you and this person, it is likely that you are going to be the one that does the outreach. You are going to be the one that talks or kind of opens up that line of communication either about that specific issue or just out of the blue. Okay, let me grab a sip of my coffee really quick. Okay. And the moon. Gosh, this moon has been really making an appearance. Almost in every sign, I think I've gotten the moon. And the thing that I have to point out, okay, is the ruler of flux and reflux with the moon. And then the Lord of forces of life. These are not controllable energies, okay? The moon, Pisces, again, both cards of Pisces. Pisces is ruler of the imagination, ruler of the subconscious, of dreams, elusiveness. You know, they're highly creative and also highly emotional, highly empathic, and you know, they're deep, the depths of the water. So you're kind of swimming this month, you guys. And I know you're an earth sign and you're like, of any earthly geographical feature, you would be the mountain, right? Like Virgo would be the fields, Capricorn would be the rocks, and you guys would be the mountains, you know, or whatever. That's just my own stupid little thing. But so to put a mountain in the ocean, it's like really out of place there. And so you may feel like you're kind of floating around, and you could feel like you're just at the whim and the mercy of the mighty waters, the king of the ocean, right? Poseidon, Neptune. And there's really nothing you can do. And that's the thing, is like there's really nothing you can do about this particular situation. You have to just wait it out and see. So if you're feeling a need to do outreach, well, we'll see what other cards come out. But right now, outreach I'm not seeing is going to really beget the best outcome. It could just like sustain this current suspension, right? Keep this suspension going. And the unknown, because the moon is very much about unknown and illusions, secrets, excuse me, things that you don't understand. They haven't been brought to light yet. I think you're very much kind of standing in the dark right now about something or someone. And it's like I said, it's you have the Jupiterian energy, so it's not as though things aren't changing, and it's not as though things aren't going to be getting much better, but it's just that it's not better right now. And you may be feeling frustrated that you don't have power over this, okay? But I'm sorry, but it just is what it is. And that's kind of the way all of the readings are going this month, is you are literally at the mercy of the universe right now. Okay, and then we have the Magician. So this is kind of a counterintuitive card. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit sick, so hopefully you guys, I've been traveling like so much, and it's cold here in Idaho, it's snowing, and my body's not adjusting very well, so I apologize. Here's a card of power, and I think that in the midst of this lingering unknown weirdness, okay, that you will feel empowered in some way. It might not be empowered with this person, but you on your own, you feeling empowered to create. And I do see the Magician as being a very creative person or a very creative energy. It's that burst of inspiration, that light bulb that comes on, something that is understood, and something that enters your life without permission, right? It's like, oh, wow, I really have a desire to do this now, and I never had a desire to do that. It's going to be independent from this person, however. It's going to be more focused on your own life, on your own career path, your own finances, your own whatever, okay? And it's going to be something that is unstoppable, and it is an inevitability. I love that this card is associated with the planet Mercury, because it's like when you think of Mercury, the messenger of the gods, right? Mercury, Hermes, was the only one that was allowed to go from Mount Olympus to the earth, to the underworld, right? Like he was the only one that was able to do that. And he's very quick. He's the Lord of swiftness, you know? And when you get a visit from Mercury, it is a blessing, right? Normally he brings good news or is there to take you from one place to another. And with the expansiveness here, it's going to be for the best. There's no doubt in my mind that there is growth and progress in your future this month, okay? For November and into December. Be very, very careful about who you trust this month as well. Because again, another meaning of this can also be someone who is quite illusionary. We think of a magician. We think of someone who's showing you one thing with one hand and doing another with his other hand, right? And then there's the kind of deceptive nature of Neptune here. So if you are dealing with someone who has a tendency to come and go in and out of your life, and they try to make a reappearance again this month, or you even kind of initiate that in some way, be very, very guarded and keep your boundaries up, because I think that there could be a repeated pattern coming out, right? Whatever was difficult or whatever was bad, might occur again if you go down the same road. Do I make sense? I hope I make sense. The Magician can be tricky. He is a trickster. Hermes, right? Hermes was a practical joker. You know, one of the first things he did, I think it was like the first or second day he was born, he crawled out of his crib and went and stole Apollo's cattle and hid them from him and then lied about it to Zeus, saying, no, I didn't steal anyone's cattle. No, of course not. You know, so you have to be really careful when you get the Magician. Eight of Wands. Oh, well, what did I say? Lord of Swiftness. And this, again, associated with Mercury. Eight of Wands. Let me make sure my camera's still going. Oh, this reading is going super fast. Sorry, guys. I always like to kind of keep them longer and provide a little bit more value. But sometimes they come out quick. Eight of Wands. Forward motion. Look, this is not necessarily a good month, I think, to worry so much about outcomes. Just set your own goals. Make your own decisions about where you want this month to go. What do you want to accomplish? And maybe you don't even want to accomplish anything. Maybe all you want to do is just relax and not have to stress so much, right? So to find a life or to find a pattern that you can kind of get comfortable in amidst kind of the stormy seas that you sort of find yourself in. Get comfortable, get relaxed. You know, work on that Taurus pace, because after all, you are still a mountain. Whether you're on the land or in the water, you're still a mountain nonetheless. And work on that achievement, that goal that you have. I think that things will change quickly once you're kind of out of the woods. I don't really know exactly what that means, but things will change quickly once you're out of the woods. And the Queen of Pentacles. Well, here you are. Beautiful. Love it. Doing everything that an earth sign should be doing. You know, I love the Queen of Pentacles because she is on top of a throne as opposed to a chariot, right? And this is exactly the type of energy that you really need right now, is that groundedness. It is that consistent, forward moving, but not necessarily pushed or pressured, doing things at your own rate, your own pace, and doing things the way you need them to be done, and being even maybe a little bit selfish about it, because you know that you are the one that is going to be able to accomplish. You're the only one that can do it, you know. And like I said, you have the people around you celebrating you and really in your corner. So whatever it is you need assistance with, you'll have people there. Whatever, you know, if you ever need to talk to someone, you'll have people there. So it's a good month for you to just kind of break free from a difficult situation, an unknown, lingering, kind of like hanging on type of thing. And this can often be someone that does kind of stream people on or lead people on. And with the presence of the Hanged Man there, it's almost as though this particular situation is on its last leg, or it's on its, you know, it's hanging by a thread. And right now it's up to fate, right? Lady Fortune. It's up to the gods, if you will. Sorry, guys, I know I'm getting a little bit kind of mythical with you, but there's nothing you can do. The Moon, Hanged Man, the Wheel of Fortune, the Magician, right? The Magician comes in, like I said, without permission. It's just like all of a sudden you're going to feel a burst of inspiration about something. And once you do, you're going to move forward with it the way you see fit, without influence of another person or this person per se. Okay? So let's go ahead. I've been pulling out several more cards for everybody. Oh, the Chariot has been coming out like crazy too. Look, Cancer and Pisces, they're really making an appearance this month, which does tell me we have a lot of watery energy. Now, I'm not doing the astrology stuff this month, just because I just didn't want to get ready and do my makeup and all that. But all the wateriness, and it just is like this pool of ebbs and flows. But yet here we have someone who is powerful, right? We have the Pharaoh and his control over his chariot. Now the two Sphinx here, they represent love and power. And power not necessarily over another person, but power over yourself, right? True autonomy, independence, and love and generosity and kindness, right? So there is going to be a balancing act. Now this particular chariot I do see being a very peaceful chariot, not one that causes a lot of anxiety, although there could be a lot of anxiety over this particular person. They're causing a lot of stress in your life. But yet in some weird way, you kind of let go of that anxiety and find the peace, okay? And Five of Swords. Well, what did I say before? I already said this, that this is like a repeated pattern. And I almost always see this as being cyclical, like it's going around the circle again. It's like duck, duck, goose. It just keeps going and going and going and going, and eventually tag, you're it, and then you're the one playing the game, and it's like, oh, I don't even want to play this stupid game. I just want a relationship, or I just want this to work out. And some of you, you're gonna need to really figure out how to put a stop to this pattern. I think the Magician, I think Mercury is coming your way specifically to be like, hey, Taurus, here's a way out. Here's a way to make change. And that change can occur very quickly for you. Let me make sure again that it's all in the frame. So the Five of Swords does indicate no winners. There's no winners here. No winners with this person, no winners with this relationship. And it might be time to call a spade a spade. For many of you, let's call a spade a spade. Let's do one more here. And the Eight of Swords. So I know you're feeling trapped. Of course, Hanged Man, you're in a state of suspension. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how. But again, Jupiter, Neptune. Like you don't necessarily have the most difficult energies around you right now. It might feel difficult, but it's all with this spiritual playing field, all on this spiritual playing field. Your emotions and your subconscious could really be taking a beating this month, okay? But it's a matter of honesty. And that's the thing about the Magician, right? Is sometimes it's very forceful, and it does force you to be honest sometimes with yourself, and stop deceiving yourself and stop living in delusions, because I think the moon's presence here does offer that illusionary aspect for you. Stop pretending that something is what you want it to be, and start realizing and recognizing what it is. And when you do that, it will set you free. Lord of Swiftness, it will set you free. Okay? All right, Taurus, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next month. All right, take care.